Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to do the most requested video, that is how to build a winning resume. Yes, it's that season of the year, internships are starting, job opportunities start, so it is very important that you have to make a winning resume in order to get into a good job. Well, if you are a graduate or an undergraduate and if you are looking for job opportunities, then this is the first thing that you have to do. That is building a good resume. So, first things first, so let me start off with saying that the pronunciation is very, very important. So, stop calling it resume, and it is a resume and not resume. So, learn this pronunciation, and from today, make sure that you say that it's a resume and not a resume. Because in English, resume means something to continue or to start over again, but resume is something that you put yourself on a piece of paper. And I always say it because when you apply for a job opportunity, you are not going to directly represent yourself, but it is your resume, that one piece of paper, which is going to talk about you, talk about who you are as an individual and who you are as a professional. So always make sure that you put your best self on this piece of paper. And I always say again and again and again that resume is you on a piece of paper. So make sure that this piece of paper is representing you well, is saying that this is you. So yeah, let's get started with this video and let's discuss how you have to build a winning resume and what are the tips and tricks that you need to think of and you need to take into consideration when you prepare your resume for an ideal job of yours. So here's it, and I'm going to explain you how you have to build your resume. And the first and the foremost is like, what are the apps you can use to build a resume? So there are so many apps like Google Docs, Canva, Visual CV, LinkedIn, Professional Resume Builder, and so many others where you can, build your resumes. Don't think I'm a brand ambassador to all these apps and that's why I've mentioned them here. But absolutely no. But I'm just giving you a few suggestions on what app you can make your resume. So you can use any of these apps and you can take any template and make your own resume. So make sure it is simple, clear, and structured. So that's what you can do. So this is basically what you have to do when you think of a resume. So first find an app which can help you to make a good resume. And then let me just explain you the format of the resume. The resume format basically contains these things. First is the name, description, contact details, education, experience, achievements, extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities, and skills. Now, how you structure them is very, very important, and that structuring will depend on the template you choose. So, based on the template you choose for your resume, you kind of structure all these, segments on your resume. So, the first thing I'm going to talk is name. So, basically, in a resume, you kind of put your name and you kind of put your profile picture as well. That is your photograph. But it is not always mandatory to place your photographs. I personally suggest you to not include your photograph when you prepare your resume. But if in case a company is asking you to include a photograph, only then you can add. So the first thing that is visible on your resume is your name. So make sure your name is like big, bold, and thick in color, so that as soon as I see your resume, as soon as a recruiter sees the resume, I can understand, oh, okay, this is his name, this is her name. So that's what it is. So mention your name in a bold format, because name is your identity and that is how I recognize you with. And always make sure that you make resumes in like basic format, font, and all of that. So I personally recommend you to use Times New Roman as the font and font style, and you can use the font size 16, 14, and 12. 16 for your name and 14 for all the side headings or the bold headings that you put, and 12 is for all the general writing that you do on your resume. So don't exceed beyond 16. Okay, you can go for your name till 18 but not beyond that, because always remember that this font is very, very important, and anybody who does it in these font ranges will be actually presenting it clear. So a recruiter will be able to look at your particular document very well if it's in this size. So always make sure that the font is like legible. Okay, so legibility is something which is very, very important. And then the short description. So it is kind of a career objective that you write after your name, but always make sure that this short description is written at the end of your resume. So you plan out every section in your resume, and after writing all the sections in your resume, that is your achievements, your skills, your curricular activities, extracurricular activities, and all of that. Only then you have to go back and write short description. But this short description is actually at the beginning, after your name and contact details. But why are you writing it at the end? Because short description is something that is like a summary. So when do you write the summary? After you read an entire book, only then you get an idea of it, and then you write the summary of that book, right? So exactly, when you write a short description, it is like the conclusion part of yourself. So you are going to write it when you complete your complete resume. So if you can just see, this is the short description that I have made. So please don't copy paste this short description, because it should be personalized from person to person. So write your own short description. You can just write something that you believe in, something that you are interested in. So I have written a continuous learner with an interest in business and its management, because this resume building is completely concentrated for MBA students, somebody who's from kind of non-technical background with an inch of technicality. So can readily traverse and provide leadership and deliverables to equally satisfy the salient objectives. Passionate about human relations, operations, and modern selling culture. Currently seeking a challenging and a competitive environment. So if I have mentioned here that I am passionate about human relations, that means HR, operations, and modern selling culture, which actually includes some stuff of sales and marketing. So I am mentioning what I am interested in short description. So after writing all your resume contents, then you come to a conclusion and write the short description for yourself. So I hope you got an idea of how you have to go about this. And then you have the contact details. See, the most important thing that you have to keep in mind is that contact details are very private, like something that you don't share it to everybody, right? So when you put contact details on your resume, you should be very careful, and you don't know who these contact details, who are going to read your contact details. So basically mention just your phone number, your email ID, your LinkedIn site, or any social media platform that you're active in, maybe Twitter, something that's formal, something that's, representing you as an individual. So don't mention your address, because nobody today sends you a mail or writes a letter to you and sends it or posts it to your home address. Nobody does that, because today we have emails, phone numbers, and all the other social media platforms. So you don't have to mention the address until and unless they specify. So use the icons. You don't have to put phone number, email, LinkedIn. Just use the icons like these, images like these, so it is very easy to identify that it is a mobile number, an email, and a LinkedIn. So use icons. And if you are applying for international placements, please make sure you mention the country code. For example, for India, our country code is 91. So your number starts with 919032 and so on. So if you're applying for international placements, so please mention the country code. And for email, please make sure you have a very formal email. Let it be your first name, your surname, and then @gmail.com, or some numbers @gmail.com. Don't mention the emails like Dad's Little Princess or a lover boy @gmail.com, ice cream lover, cat lover, dog lover @gmail.com. So anything of this sort shouldn't be present as your formal email. So keep your email very, very formal. And keep an eye on your emails, like have a habit of checking your emails every day, because you don't know who will approach you for a job opportunity, because you keep applying for them. And then, as I've said, you can mention any LinkedIn social media site, website, or a blog, but always make sure you provide a LinkedIn account, because it's pakka professional platform. Next comes the education. So always make sure that it is in descending order. That means you have to start from highest degree to your lowest degree. For example, you are in your PG. So write first PG, then UG, then your +1 and +2, and then your 10th standard. But honestly speaking, in today's resumes, it is not important to mention all your educational details. You can mention if you have a lot of space on your resume. But in case if you have so many things to put on your resume and you don't have a lot of space, then you can save some space by just mentioning your recent 2 educational things. For example, if you're doing your masters, write masters and write UG, undergraduation, and that would be done. So always make sure you write it in descending order. And then mention percentages. For example, I got 10 CGPA. Yeah, mention 10 CGPA because that's a good percentage. But in case I did not get 10 CGPA and I am like 6.8 or 5.2, now what's the point in mentioning when you have less CGPA or something like that? So don't mention it. So also mention the years when you are passing out or when you passed out. So mention the year of joining and year of passing out, so that the recruiter gets to understand whether there are some career gaps or whether you are, in what terms you have finished your education. So always make sure that it is in this platform. So first thing is, it should be in descending order. Then don't mention percentages if your scores are not good. Mention the year of passing in or out, and also mention the college or the university from which you have passed out. So this is what you basically mention in your education. Then comes the experience, which is the most important part. And under your experience, you have to write the company name, you have to write the role and duration. So company name is which company you have worked in. Role, what is your role? Are you a HR manager or are you a sales executive? So what is your role in that company? And then the duration. So how long did you work in that company? You can mention the month and then the year. So if it's like August 2022 to September 2022, so you can mention it that way. So this is how you structure it in case of experience. So if you can just see the example, it is social media marketer and journalist at Lucknow News, and this is like 2022 to present, 2020 to present. That means from this year I've started until present I'm still doing this, and I'll write a description of what it is. Most of them just write company name and role and then the duration and then leave it off. But the recruiter should understand what you have done there as a journalist and a social media marketer, right? So this is just an example I'm giving you. So I can say I have published over 500 news articles in different genres and helped double the reach via social media marketing. Now I'm giving them a number. See, 500 news articles, and they would be like, really? 500 news articles? That means I've done some quality stuff there, right? So numbers give you an idea of how much did you work in that organization. So always when you write something on your resume under a job, mention what you did in terms of numbers, in terms of numericals, so that it is very easy to interpret for the recruiter. So this is how you write the experience. And then the achievements. So this is the most important part. And categorize based on level. See, if you have a district level achievement, a block level achievement, international level achievement, national level achievement. So mention these achievements based on level. So first the international one, second is national, and then state, district and block. So just categorize them. Again here, you should again mention year, and then you have to prioritize. So you should know what you have to mention and what you should not mention. So that is very, very important when you try to, actually make a resume. And then extracurriculars versus co-curriculars. Most of you get confused and often get, completely blanked out when I ask you what's the difference between extracurricular and co-curricular. Always remember, extracurricular is something which is beyond your curriculum. Extracurricular, apart from your curriculum, it is something extra. So it is not related to academics at all. So if it's dancing, singing, you are a national level, a musical artist, or if you're a national level classical dancer, so that you can mention under extracurriculars, because that's actually a huge achievement, but it is not something that can come under academics. So that's extracurricular. Now what is co-curricular? Co-curricular is something that comes under academics, but it is not directly related to your subject. For example, you are a mechanical student and you prepared a prototype of a new bike, a mechanical bike that you wanted to present, and you got a first place in that. See, you are a mechanical student and you did an expo in in an exhibition about a mechanical bike, and that's how you got a first place in it. And that's something related to your academics, right? Not directly, but indirectly. That's co-curricular. Or you have won a first place in business quiz. That is co-curricular. You have conducted a management event. That is co-curricular. You have taken part in a national level fest. That is co-curricular. So always remember that something you are mentioning which is something related to your academics, then it's co-curricular, and something which has nothing to do with your academics, that's your extracurricular. So when you mention extracurriculars and co-curriculars as headings, please make sure you're putting them right. Don't mismatch them at all. And then the skills. This is also very, very important. So mention skills based on the job description. JD here is meaning job description. So job description is what the company gives you. For example, I am a company recruiter and I share a job description with you asking like I need so and so people, so and so background with so and so skills. That is the job description. Now mention the exact skills that the recruiter wants on your job description, on your resume. So it is very important that you put the same skills on your resume. That helps the recruiter understand that you are the right candidate for their role, because they want the person with these skills and you are the person with the exact skill set. But don't fake out anything. So only mention skills that you are confident of, that you are aware of, and that you have learned. So don't mention any skill that you have no idea about. And then keep changing and updating your resume based on job description, because not every company is the same, not every company has the same requirements, and not every company comes with the same job description and same skills. For example, I am a finance company, I would be having different skill set requirement. I am a marketing company, I would be having a different sales skill set requirement. So based on the company, based on the job description, change your skills. And always there is a difference between technical skills and non-technical skills. So if you are completely into a technical background, mention technical skills. For example, somebody who is a part of business analytics as their specialization would have a lot of technical skills, and somebody who is into marketing and somebody who is into HR would not have so many technical skills. So they would mostly talk about non-tech side. So based on what your role is and what your skill sets are, you categorize them accordingly. And as I've said, never fake your skills, because if you fake it them just for sake of getting selected or shortlisted, when you go to the interview, you would not be able to answer questions related to that. So never fake skills that you have no idea about. And then the length, which is very, very important and the most crucial part. So the length of the resume should never be more than 1 page for a fresher, because a fresher is the one who starts their job. So don't expect or don't create a mess, or don't write a lot of stuff on your resume, giving a lot of space and making it to 1 page, 2 page or 3 pages. Make sure your resume is just aligned and just for 1 page. This actually helps you to keep all your content very short, very brief, and on one piece of paper. Also, it is very easy for the recruiter to just read one paper rather than going through 3 or 4 papers, right? And then there is no need actually to write a declamation, because at the end they say that hereby I state that all the information is true and you can contact me, etc, etc, etc. But I don't think you need to mention that, because that's an old format of mentioning hereby I state that everything is true and all of that. So nothing you have to mention. You just have to put all your details and then make a good resume. That's all is what you have to do. So that's one thing that I wanted to specify here. So I am going to show you a sample resume now. So when I say a sample resume, always remember it's a sample. So it's not something you can copy, or it's not something you can, replicate. So prepare the resume of your own. But this resume is to just show you how you can put things on a piece of paper in a structured format. Just to give you a clear idea of how you can frame things out on a piece of paper. So here you go. Also, I have some extra tips for you to prepare your resumes, because they would definitely help you. And apart from that, we do resume freelancing. So if you want to get your resumes done by us, we do that freelancing. So if you are interested, you can also contact the number which is displayed on the screen. You can send a text on WhatsApp and we can help you in framing and bringing out the best resumes for you. So finally, I would also love to give you some tips on how you have to build a good resume and what are those small tiny things that you can take care of. So the very first and the basic thing that I always say is that please make sure that there are no spelling mistakes, there are no grammatical errors, because it's very important, because oftentimes we believe that these are basics but we kind of ignore them and then ultimately end up doing them. So make sure that there are no punctuational or there are no grammatical mistakes at all in your resume, so that your resume is neat, clear, and simple. So always make sure that your resume has none of these grammatical errors. The second point is keep your resume short and simple. It is very important that you keep your resume very short, very crisp, and very simple. Don't make it complicated, because it is very important that you make sure that these things are very, very important. And the third thing is that highlight points which you want your resume to speak about first. So it's very important that you have to highlight things. See, when I look at your resume, there should be some points which should catch my eye first. So if I have something that's very important, or if I have something that's great, or if I have an achievement that's worth showing, then make sure you highlight it in bold letters, so that when I look at your resume, the first thing I look at is that bold letters on your resume. So highlight things that you want the recruiter to read first and to get an opinion on it. So that's the third thing that you can always do. And the fourth thing is, make sure you share it in PDF format when you're sharing it with the recruiter. So oftentimes when you don't share it in PDF format, when you share it in a document, at times when the other person is opening it in a different device, the format might get changed, or some words might missed, or at times there are chances wherein there can be some additions to it. So that is the only reason why you should always submit your resume in a PDF format, because you cannot change anything on a PDF, and that can be viewed exactly the way you sent. So that's the fourth one. And the last, final, and the most important and the golden point is that never ever send the same resume to all the recruiters. So as I've already mentioned in the video, it is very important that you change and modify your resume depending on the job role, depending on the company you apply for, and depending on what interests or skills or the company is expecting from you. So always make sure that you edit all these things on your resume every time you send your resume to a new company. So all these will actually help you to bring out the best resume, and definitely you have all the chances to get selected into a good company. And it's very important that you make sure that these points are make noted of, and you follow all of them in order to bring out a best resume for yourself. So I wish you all the love and luck, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. And I think and I wish that all those who watch this video, and of course the ones who don't watch as well, who are trying for all the job opportunities, that you make and build a good resume and you get selected into the best companies that you wish for. And I wish and hope that future holds the best for you. So all the best for your professional journey. And in the future videos, I'm going to talk about how to build your LinkedIn profile, and how to make or how to prepare yourself for interview, and what are the interview skills that you need to have, and all of these stuff. So in this MBA series of mine, I'm going to talk about everything that you need to have as an MBA graduate. So if you are looking for something of that stuff, then please stay tuned to my channel, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you have so much useful and educational content coming in this channel very soon. So please don't forget to subscribe, and also share it with your friends who are in need of this video, and always click that bell notification to get instant updates and notifications about whatever I do on my YouTube channel. So see you guys, and all love.